This story is a sad one, and it made me to remember the quote: "The greatest betrayal is not always from a stranger, but from someone you once trusted with all your heart." It also made me to remember that no one is to be trusted, not even your ex. So on October 26, 2024, 5 young people lost their life in a mysterious and tragic manner in a community of Nsuko West, local government area of Edo State. I want to say quickly that everything I'm going to be saying is alleged until proven by the court. And I want to let you know again that this story is not folktale. It's on Google, it's on social media. In fact, it's everywhere. Now, Emmanuel Eloge, 19 years old, and 4 of his friends, Ada Samuel and Geoffrey Oyegwalo, and Nuruddin, were found lifeless in an apartment. This story will reveal the darkest side of human emotion, wickedness, and betrayal. Now, it was a cold morning around 7:30 a.m. when Mr. Eloge Ezekiel, a father like many others, noticed something wasn't right. Now, he hadn't heard from his son Emmanuel the previous day, so he was concerned and decided to check on him. But what he found inside Emmanuel's apartment would haunt him forever. As Mr. Ezekiel opened the door, he found the lifeless body of Nuruddin, a close friend of Emmanuel, his son, lying in the corridor. Seeing this body motionless on the floor made Mr. Ezekiel hard to skip, so he moved further into the apartment, and inside the bedroom, he found his son Emmanuel lying unresponsive in bed beside his 16-year-old girlfriend Ada Samuel, both of them lifeless. But there was more. In the living room, he found 2 more young men, Samuel and Geoffrey Oyegwalo, lying motionless on the couch. The 2 boys were the only children of their parents. At this point, Mr. Ezekiel could no longer hold his composure. He screamed, and within minutes, neighbors and other community members gathered. The heartbreaking scene had greeted everyone that morning was beyond comprehension. 5 young lives snatched away in a single night. Now, the tragic news spread like wildfire through the community. People were left in a state of shock and confusion. How could such a thing happen? Now, as the news of the death spread, the community began to come up with different theories to explain the tragedy. One theory suggested that the cause of the death was generator fume, something we are all familiar with in Nigeria, where people accidentally inhale poisonous fume from generator left running through the night. Now, if it's generator fume, we would have maybe seen some liquid substance coming out from their mouth as we would normally see with other incidents. But there was no solid evidence to prove that it was generator, because the generator was even far a bit from the house, the apartment where these people passed on the previous night. So, but could it be that these guys were attacked physically? That too didn't cut through, because there was no sign of any struggle physically or maybe injuries on their bodies. Others began to speculate that it could be maybe a form of spiritual attack. You know, Nigerians, there's this always thought of thinking spiritual. Maybe someone had projected something against them. So another idea was that the cause could have even been food poisoning, because a plate of catfish pepper soup was found in the apartment, and many thought that that could have been the source of the poison. But the question remained, where did the food come from? And more importantly, why would someone want to hurt these young people? So the police arrived to investigate. They quickly began their work. They removed the bodies and began the process of identifying the cause of death. However, as they began, complication arose when the family of the victim, especially those from the Muslim community, requested the bodies to be released quickly for burial. The police allowed for the bodies to be released, but the community would not leave any stone unturned, so they decided to also do their own investigation. And 3 days after, 16-year-old Aisha Suleiman, Emmanuel's ex-girlfriend, was quickly identified as the primary suspect. Now, it was alleged that she had prepared the pepper soup that claimed the life of Emmanuel and his 4 friends. What was intended as a revenge for broken relationship became an irreversible tragedy. Angry members of the community quickly rushed to Aisha's house demanding for justice. It wasn't long before Aisha found herself almost being lynched by the angry crowd, but the police were informed and they swiftly arrived to save her. Now, Aisha was once in a relationship with Emmanuel, the apartment owner. Now, while no one knew exactly how the relationship ended, it was clear that they broke up in a sour manner, and it looked as if she wanted to hurt Emmanuel by taking his life. I don't know why, but possibly she wanted to just take a revenge on him. Now, during questioning and investigation, it was discovered that Aisha had cooked the catfish pepper soup that was found in the apartment. This piece of information pointed to her as the possible culprit, but no one knew for sure if she had poisoned the food. Yeah, it's possible she cooked the food. Now, to understand Aisha's possible motive, the police turned on to her social media page, and what they found there raised a few eyebrows. Now, Aisha had posted on TikTok about how toxic relationship could be and how they cause pain, insecurity, and fake love. Now, as if that was not even enough, she made another post that would suggest she was the one who cooked and served the meal. Now, she wrote, and I quote, "There will be tears in the house of anyone who wish me bad." Well, was this a warning to Emmanuel? Now, many speculated that yes, it was meant for Emmanuel, but he never paid attention. Or maybe he didn't even see that post on Twitter. But come to think of it, if they had separated for some time, how come about the food? Yeah, how come about the food? Did he call her to make the food for him? I mean, the pepper soup. If not, how did the pepper soup even get to Emmanuel's house in the first place? I mean, something is sketchy around here. If they had separated, how did she prepare pepper soup for him? Did he send money for her, or did he call her? I don't know. Something is really sketchy around here. Now, what will make a girl of 16 think of taking another person's life? The food was clearly intended for Emmanuel, but somehow his friends and his new girlfriend came visiting and shared in the poisoned meal. Now, many condemned the act on social media, but some also praised her for taking the move. But for me, no matter what the problem was, Emmanuel and his friends were not deserving of the treatment they got from this lady. Now, very dark man called them the Gen Z generation. Now, here's what he has to say.
Nothing where person no go see for this Gen Z generation. So I just did on Twitter. Now I see this video where they say ex-girlfriend cook pepper soup, can't give her ex-boyfriend, and all the friends chop am. The friends were their house, they chop am like 4. As they chop am, now so all of them take bye. See the video. You know why I say this Gen Z generation? Because see who they say be the suspects. Give or take, man, looking at this girl should be about 18 years. Because you know what I say na Gen Z generation? Now only this generation by 16, they don't enter relationship. By 16, and no be normal relationship, very toxic relationship. When we say the boy, where if he be like 17, go don't get like other 4 girlfriends. They carry the thing as normal thing. They don't even take the real things about life serious, like going to school, studying, trying to be a medical doctor. No, I'm not saying there are no Gen Zs that are doing that, but this generation are just so. I know a lot of things I don't see for Twitter, whether I know if you can come Instagram, right? But this one, bruv. How old are you?
Now, the bodies of the deceased were all buried as at the time of making this particular video. Now, could it also be that Aisha is innocent? We don't know for sure, but since she made the food, it's easy to point at her. The fact remains that 5 young lives have been lost in a tragedy. Even if it's true that Aisha had intended for only Emmanuel to die, perhaps the other 4 were simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. And that to me is unfortunate. Now, as at the time of making this particular video, the police had questioned Aisha and she admitted to actually poisoning the food, and there were still too many unknowns in the story. But was she actually guilty of the crime, or could there be maybe a third party somewhere? Now, the question I really want to ask is, was Aisha truly guilty, or could it be that there could be a third party behind the scene involved in this case? No one knows for sure, but as at the time of creating this video, I learned that the police had concluded on their investigation and Aisha was taken to court and sentenced to 24 years imprisonment. Now, one thing became clear. Now, I want you to pay attention to this right now. Whatever happens in life, no one, especially young people, should ever lose their life over a broken relationship. Now, the tragedy reminds everyone that even the smallest action can have deadly consequences. You see, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. I repeat, take care of yourself. Please, if a relationship had ended, let it remain ended. Don't try to resurrect it because it will cause more harm than good. Let whatever is not working, let it go. Build your life and forget about anything that will cause you pain, will cause you sorrows at the end of the day. This is where I'm going to draw the curtain of this video. Please subscribe and encourage us to create more videos. Thank you very much. My name is Charles Emmanuel and we love you so very much. Bye-bye.